This is Matt from Two Boxing. We'll plug the microphone in this time. Delighted to be joined by Frank Smith. Frank, we'll start that again. How are we, mate?
I can't believe we've just done half an hour of an interview and we got to do it all again. I'm good, mate. Glad to be in Manchester, as I said. Sun shines out. Wish I could drink a beer, but I'm trying to be healthy.
You're trying, but you're going to have a beer, aren't you?
Mate, look at me. I'm a changed man. I'm in pristine condition.
You've been on a bit of a health kick, I know. You're doing a bit. You're trying.
I'm training like 4 or 5 times a week. I've enlisted the help of a trainer because I'm a fat, lazy mess. So yeah, I'm trying hard. Shout out Jack Lang, Bertie Wilkins, runs One City in Brighton, JR Elgin, all those places. Go down there, you can look like me.
You know, you'll be on that MyFitnessPal app then, won't you? Calorie counting and all that.
Well, it's a bit like Kanye West's workout plan. This is Frank Smith's workout plan. So.
It could go viral. I can see the DVD now. Frank, talk to me, huge card. Conor Benn, Chris Van Heerden. A lot of people dismissing Van Heerden as an opponent, but this is a banana skin for Conor, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I think this is a really important fight for him because this is that step before that mega fight that we all want to make happen. You know, Conor Benn's still 25, he's still learning, still developing and growing, and this is, you know, I think this is a good test for him. Chris Algieri was a test for him. Look at the fighters these guys have been in with. This is the kind of thing Conor needs, you know. Also, first southpaw test, you know, you don't want him going in there against the best in the world who's a southpaw and going, I don't know what to do here. Yeah. He needs to learn and develop these, you know, these things, and I think, you know, fight fans are right to have their opinion. Ultimately, they're the people paying for it. But at the same time, you need to progress and grow a fighter in the right way, and I think we're doing that here with Conor Benn.
Do you think, I think I've said this already, Ford, do you think almost he's in a bit of a no-win situation where also people like to see him out, but because he's obviously done well in his last few fights, they want him jumped up 10 levels rather than just a step at a time? Is that a bit frustrating when you're trying to explain, look, he'll get there, we just need to do it that one step at a time?
I think if you said to me, Conor Benn in a couple of years is going to beat Chris Algieri and then fight Chris Van Heerden, like, you know, people writ him off completely, Conor Benn, a few years back, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, he has grown, he's developed so much, you know, and Tony Sims has done a great job with him outside of the ring, you know, in the ring but in training to build him to where he is now. And Conor's done all the work as well. You know, it's hard to find someone as dedicated as him. So it's impossible. It's impossible because, like I say, 2-3 years ago, people would have said he'll never fight them, he'll never beat them. He's gone there and done that. But it's all about the progression and growing and learning. And I think this is an important fight for him in that instance.
Now, Eddie's alluded to this is going to be the one before the big one, or the fight that everyone goes, wow, that's happening. I know there's not been many names sort of bandied about, but one name who is back in the gym, it looks like he's back in the gym anyway, is Adrian Broner. That was visited, I think, a few months back. Is that a possibility? Is that the big name? Is that potentially the big fight that this will lead to? Yeah,
look, I think there's a lot of fights. You know, we've spoken about Kell Brook. We made an offer to Kell Brook, didn't work out. We've spoken about, I think Amir Khan's a good fight for him as well. You know, I think Adrian Broner, as you mentioned there, that's a fight we'd love to make. You know, Mikey Garcia is a great fight as well. I think Danny Garcia is a really good fight. Down the road, maybe Chris Eubank Jr. is a good fight for him. There's a lot of big fights out there for him, and that's our job to go out there and make them. You know, Conor would have fought any of these names a year ago, but that doesn't mean it's right for the progression of his career. You know, that shows what type of person Conor is, that he's willing to take on any test. But, you know, we know we've got to go and deliver those big fights now.
Alicia Baumgartner back in the UK, put on a great performance last time out. She'll be looking, without overlooking the opponent this weekend, she'll be looking for bigger and better things, a unification. A lot of talks about Michaela Mayer. She seems to think that fight's better if it's built, and she goes and collects another belt along the way against the likes of Choi. So, not overlooking, but do you think that's the right thing to do? A lot of fans calling for the Mayer fight now. Michaela definitely wants that fight now. What do you think sort of best for her in her career at this point?
I think Alicia Baumgartner can beat all of them. You know, I think she can become the undisputed. She's a real strong fighter. We saw what she did in November against Terry Harper, and you know, I think she's got a lot of talent. And one thing I will say as well, she stayed in the gym. She was supposed to fight on our San Diego card. She pulled out. She was injured or unwell then. And she stayed in the gym, and Zelfa Barrett came off this show a couple of weeks ago, so we had a slot here, and it just shows the importance of staying ready. She's never been over 5 pounds of her weight, Alicia. You know, she trains hard, so people saying it's late notice, etc. She's always been ready to go in and have this fight, and been chasing us for that date since she couldn't make the original one. So I'm glad we could get her out, and you know, I think in terms of what's next, like I say, she won't be looking past Saturday night, but I think she's got, whether it's the Choi fight, whether it's Michaela Meyer, that would be a huge fight. Michaela Meyer's obviously built a good platform on ESPN with Top Rank. We're obviously with DAZN. Let's see how things play out on that front. I definitely think that's a fight that can be made. Choi also we work with. That's a unification that can be made. So lots to look forward to in that division.
Absolutely. Another name that's been thrown about because his fight's coming up with Rolly Romero is Gervonta Tank Davis. Seems to be that his contract's coming to an end and that this is his last fight on with Mayweather Promotions. If he's a free agent, surely yourselves will be looking at him and trying to make him a very serious offer, considering he's one of the biggest stars in the sport and he's only getting better. Is he someone you look at and think, what, for the platform, for DAZN, for Matchroom, he's someone who fits the bill, let's make an offer?
Look, I think everyone would be interested in working with Gervonta Davis if he was a free agent. There's no question mark there. He's got a huge following, he sells great tickets, he does big pay-per-view numbers, so definitely, if that was a case that he was free, but again, he's got to focus on his fight against Romero, May 21st or May.
Yeah, in the Barclays.
Yeah, May 21st. So look, that will be his focus, and I'm sure PBC as well at the same time, or Mayweather Promotions, but it's sort of just Showtime.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be doing everything they can to try and keep it.
What's your gut feeling? Saying obviously, I think we had Floyd holding a press conference on the same day. I think for the exhibition that he's having in Dubai. We don't know. You never know what's going on behind closed doors. Whether that's part of a story or a promotional thing. What with everything that's going on there? Do you think that what's your gut saying that he'll do? Do you think it's just something where in the end he'll just extend because of what they've done so far, or will he just think, I'm the name now, Gervonta Promotions, and we'll go where we see fit?
No, I don't know. There's been talk in the past, hasn't there, about them falling out, prior to this, even when you had other fights with them. But you can't question they have done a good job for it. He's done his part as well. At the same time, he's gone in there and performed. So, I can't talk on their relationship and how well they get on and whether it was some ploy that gets some media because Floyd had to go and do a press conference elsewhere. Floyd's got his own agenda of what he's doing. Floyd isn't like a traditional boxing promoter, is he? Floyd's got his own businesses that I'm sure he makes a lot of money out of and does a lot of things, and maybe the boxing promotional side of it isn't his focus. I don't know. But, I think it'd be interesting to see what happens. But, he's got a big fight May 21st, and then I'm sure everyone will be interested to get hold of him, I'm sure.
Next week, Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury. We've heard from Dillian Whyte today for the first time since the fight's been announced. What do you make of that? It looks obviously a bit of a promo video that was put together for him, but is this him just saying, you know what, I'm promoting the fight, I'll see you next week? What do you make of him? He's stopping his silence today. Maybe
he didn't want to see any more singing and dancing from the Frank Warren office, so he thought if I do that, then they won't have to post things like that. I thought it was quite funny. Look, it was always never really a question of does this fight happen, or I think it was just a case of there was a lot of things to resolve, and hopefully those things have been resolved, and I think it's going to be a massive fight, great fight.
What did you make of the happy birthday message? Because when I was scrolling through Twitter and saw that, I did have a bit of a chuckle to myself. Bit of trying to poke the bear a little bit with that, do you think?
A bit cringe, really, but I suppose
funny though.
It's funny, yeah. But I suppose their business is a bit cringe, so it's. Look, I laughed at it, but maybe it was just to wind him up. Who knows?
We'll see. Are you still backing Dillian next week? Still think he gets the job done? Does it in good fashion?
I think he goes in there and does the business.
Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk. That's coming up soon. Have we had any update from AJ? How camp's going? How he's looking in sparring? Obviously, keeps himself very private at these parts, which is for rightly so. But got any update from him?
Look, AJ's been training very hard all the way since the first fight. His focus has been going back in there and winning his belt. So all the way back from September last year, he's been training hard with and dedicated to go back in there like he did against Andy Ruiz and win his belts back. It's a very hard task. Alexander Usyk's a very great fighter, but Anthony Joshua has the ability to go in there and do it. He's a constant professional. He's got a great team around him, and he's working hard and looks in good shape.
Does it surprise you how many people write him off? I think people have a short memory of what this guy's actually achieved in a short space of time in his career. Does it surprise you how many people say, "Oh, he's finished, same again"? And you know, it's incredible. Boxing seems to be the only sport where you take a loss and that's it. You're just completely written off as shot or not got it anymore. Does it surprise you at all?
I don't think it's boxing as a sport. I think it's the British mentality and the mentality of success. Unfortunately, for some strange reason, we don't all like seeing people do well, and we'd rather see them sort of shot down, which doesn't make sense to me. You know, ultimately, shouldn't we all be like, that's amazing what he's done? And look, Anthony Joshua has never shied away from any test or any challenge, and you have to respect him for that, because he has worked his whole life to do what he's done. And you're always going to have people on the internet saying, "Oh, he didn't. Who's he fought? This, that, the other." These people are sitting at home, and probably done nothing in their life. So, I don't think he loses sleep out over it. But that's in all walks of life. You've always got someone saying you've done nothing, blah blah blah. So, I think it would be good if he got more respect. But ultimately, the most important thing is, are you happy with what you've done yourself? In my opinion.
Him and Usyk, what happens? You just give me a prediction for a Dillian Whyte fight. I believe he goes in there and knocks Usyk out.
Does he knock him out?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I think he can knock him out. Can he go to points with him and cause damage to him throughout the fight? I think he's got the power and ability to do that. Everyone again has got. I'm not a boxing expert. I'm not the man who's going to tell you that he's going. I'm a boxing expert.
Educated opinion.
I'm a boxing expert when it comes to the business, but I'm not going to be the man telling you AJ needs to go in there and throw more jabs. Like everyone's got an opinion on what someone should do. That's not my thing. I know he can go in there from seeing what he's done in the past, from what he's overcome in the past, from he did it against Andy Ruiz. Everyone said he hasn't got a chance. Loads of people said he hasn't got a chance here. It's just going to be the same thing again. He's shown that he can go in there and do it. So, yeah, I believe he can do it again.
Just before we leave off, any news, any breaking news or anything you can give us just before we go? Anything coming up that you can shed a bit of light on? Come on, as an exclusive, come on. Anything.
Do you know what the thing is? Because I know about a lot of things, I forget that they're not... Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So, in my mind, everyone already knows. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Let me think about it tonight. And I'll give you an answer tomorrow.
Excellent. Frank Smith, thanks for talking to Into Boxing.
Tune in, turn the microphone on then.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.